Here is Tony Reyes.
Nice.
Tony Reyes making his 4th television appearance final. You know, Randy, we saw him at the Mohegan Sun. He had a great chance to win in November. Let it slip away from him, but he has begun this part of the season with a renewed interest in getting back in the winning circle. Now we're seeing right away, Randy, the lane conditions. Right off the bat, we can see that the players have got to be so precise in going down the middle. Too far to the right, it falls off the cliff.
The players get the ball right of the second arrow down the lane, down where their break point is, about 40 feet down the lane. The ball's like falls off a cliff. There's a big patch of oil there. Ball will never make it back to the head pin.
What a way to try to get your first win by having to win a match against Amleto Monacelli, the 40-year-old from Venezuela. 18 titles to his credit, 86th singles appearance. His wife's and young son still live in Venezuela, where she's an architect.
You never see a 40-year-old in better shape than Amleto Monacelli.
There we saw it get a little too far outside. You know, talking to Amleto, and he is a health freak. I mean, this is a man that works out about an hour and a half to 3 hours a day. He's into weights. He says he works 2 body parts every day, jogs from 1 mile to 5 miles a day.
Well, I don't think this is a matter of the ball getting too far right. I think it was just a little too fast with speed. Throw the ball too hard, the ball doesn't grip the lane, and it doesn't make it back to the head pin.
Now we have our first open frame. Let's take a look at the conditions and see exactly what they are bowling on today.
Well, this week, the PBA sport condition, it was 31 feet of length, buffed to 42 feet, fairly long run. Pattern's very flat side to side, but what happened this week was the lanes broke down and forced the players to play in the middle part of the lane. Towards the end of today, you're going to see the players playing 5th and 6th arrow. They're going to be throwing shots this part of the lane out to about the 10th board.
Seems like a similar pattern last week.
It's actually the same pattern as last week, just a different surface.
And a lot of the power player already with 1 open frame. You know, talking about what this would mean to him, because he hasn't won since 1997. He said it would mean a lot to the confidence, and this is how he got here. Took care of Norm Duke, Brian Himmler, then lost to Tony Reyes, which put him in the wild card match. He's looking to get that confidence that led him to win over $1,800,000.
Right now, Amleto's having a little issue with some of our fans.
I think it was a little boy that was talking to his dad. His dad leaned over and said, no, you can't do that. A lot of kids here today. That's good to see. The place is absolutely packed here at Don Carter's West.
It's a tough start for Amleto. Leaves a split on the right lane, comes back, and you know it's a residue from the right lane. He doesn't want to go light again. He goes high, leaves a 3-6-10 and misses it.
Tony Reyes has doors open for him now.
Yeah, well, Tony Reyes can breathe a little easier now. When your opponent does something like that to you early on, it really helps to relax you. Here's a guy that's been working real hard on his game as of late.
Oh,
boy, my.
man.
Gives it right back to Amleto.
You know, you talk about him working very hard this week. He told me before the match that this is the most consistent he has bowled in a long time. He has been bowling quite well.
See, this ball goes right through the heart. Doesn't get the good break of tripping the 6-pin out. He's going to go for the 2 pins account.
Trying to pick it up, and both players have a couple of open frames now.
Tony Reyes has been working real hard on his game. Last week in Vegas, he worked with the great Don Johnson, rooms with Don's son, Jimmy Johnson, who I used to room with. And I've worked with Don Johnson myself. In fact, I worked with Don in 1990. The very next week, I went on to win the Quaker State in Dallas, Grand Prairie, Texas.
Right.
Don's a phenomenal coach, but he's worked on Tony's footwork. We'll take a look at that later.
There you go. And his focus.
Hey, you hear him say, finally, yo, brother. That's an excellent.
Get this thing going.
Oh, we got to get this thing. Got to get this thing going.
I like that. He wants that first title.
Well, he's a really nice guy. Again, a lot of work, rededicated himself. Had some personal issues he had to overcome. Amleto
still trying to find his name. Here's a man that had to undergo some injury problems back in 2000, 2001. Had a problem with his little finger, a tendon, and because of that, he grips the ball differently. Randy, a lot of guys cup that little finger on the right hand. Not Amleto. He's telling us that he has to keep it straight now. You'll be able to see it right there.
What happens when you tuck your pinky is it puts added pressure on your two fingers, on your middle finger and your ring finger. And I tuck my pinky. A lot of players tuck their pinkies. Amleto just put too much strain on that ligament, that tendon, that finger. He had to kind of revamp his grip, changed his pitches and his ball a little bit, and now he's bowling pain-free.
Well, Bo Burton used to say that it looked like Amleto was starting a lawnmower, didn't he?
Well, watch this. Let's take a look at Amleto's game. He's going to have a shoulder-high backswing, gets the ball into the swing. Look at the height of this backswing. But the thing that I like is look where his hand is. It's on the inside part of the bowling ball. Now go ahead and roll tape. Watch what he does at the bottom. That snap. That's how you create power.
Looking for his first, and he finally gets it here in the fourth. So Amleto Monacelli only trailing by 8 pins, despite the fact he had 3 open frames. And Tony Reyes, the radio and TV degree major from San Jose State, where he was an All-American back in '93 and '95, national championship in '93, second to Paul Fleming for Rookie of the Year back in '99. Two in a row.
Some breaks out there, man. Come on.
Well, bowling fans, if you log on right now to PBA.com, you can chat live with Rudy Rez Kazamakis. And if you have a question about today's telecast, leave it on the chat session. And if your question is answered live on the air, you'll receive a PBA prize package. Once again, log on to www.pba.com. Do it right now.
Rudy Rev's Tasmanian Devil is live on our website as we speak. Tony Reyes looking for 3 in a row.
Uh-oh.
Didn't like it. For good reason.
Well, the guys are a little tight early on. They look like they had a really good ball reaction in practice. You know, they're trying to get lined up, zoned in, and, you know, the most importantly thing is they got to make good shots. This ball's left of target, and you heard him right away when he let go of it. He said, uh-oh, he knew that ball was going to go high.
There you can see the board and the speed. We'll be keeping you updated on that throughout the afternoon. And he has his second open frame. So Tony Reyes with a couple of open frames. Amleto Monacelli with 3 open frames. It is still close. We're in our wild card match from Dallas, Texas. Stay with us.